Welcome to the world united. Welcome to the world united.
Language and ROBBI. My first question I would just like to pass over to ROBBI, if I may. And with that in mind, the importance of women in the spiritual nourishment of the world and in recognition of your journey into that special, your medicine place. How important is it for women to know these deeper parts that we have a medicine place within? And how do you convey that in your teaching?
Well, first of all, I wanted to say that if you have read any of or studied any of the ancient Sumerian or Babylonian texts and read the Babylonian creation story of our planets in the universe, in the beginning, there were two beings, there were Apsu and Tiamat. And Apsu represented the sun and the masculine principle, and Tiamat represented the feminine principle. Now, through everything that Apsu wanted to bring into existence, which was the planets that now we have in our solar system, everything had to happen through Tiamat. Everything had to be birthed through Tiamat. So nothing happened without her. No matter how focused his intent was, he couldn't do it on his own. The only birthing that took place was through Tiamat. Now, it was their combined energies that made it happen, but she was the birthing vessel. So when, as the story goes, Apsu was attacked by an external force that came into our solar system, and Tiamat is the energy or the planet that stepped up to protect him. Not to say that there weren't other planets that wanted to protect Apsu, but Tiamat is the one that put her very life, her very being at risk. And if you read any of the other ancient texts in different religions, you'll see that there are cross references to this story. The planets are known as gods in different, mythology and religions. But Tiamat is the one that put herself between Apsu and the danger that was coming in, and literally got smashed. She got smashed into bits, into two different pieces. Now, one of her sections became the asteroid belt that is like a protective ring around the inner planets and the sun. And the other piece of her became the earth, the Mother Earth, the Earth Mother. So we are living on a feminine planet. So, and I recall what Dr. Yugandhar was saying a little bit earlier before we started our presentations, that men have a much more difficult time in this world than women do. And that only makes sense because we are feminine and this is a feminine planet. So to me, that means we have a huge responsibility to make things happen in this world. And everything is birthed through the feminine. So everything is birthed through the womb, and we are woman, womb of man. So everything is going to be birthed through us. So anything of huge value and significance must come through us first. And the men can have the intent, and they can be the arrowhead and the arrow that leads the way, but anything that's going to happen happens through us. So it's a huge, huge responsibility. So in my journey that I described in finding that place inside myself, that was kind of the beginning. I mean, it had been my whole life for several years had been leading up to that point, but that's where things really started turning around for me, because I realized that what I had become was this little conglomeration of everything around me in my environment that had taken place, the people around me, the places that I'd lived, the things that I'd experienced from the get-go, from the moment of my birth. So in those moments when I was in the hospital trying to figure out what this medicine place was, I realized I've just become a product of my parents, my grandparents, my aunts, my uncles, the other adults that are around me. And who am I really? You know, and I realized for the first time in my life, I really started to open up to the fact that I am not my mother. I'm not my father. I'm not my grandparents. I'm not my aunts and my uncles. Yes, they have given me their genetic material. I've got their DNA, and I have learned everything that I am from them. But now I have a choice. I don't have to continue to live out my existence being somebody that they expect me to be. Now I can start looking at my own purpose and who God intends for me to be in this world, and the message that I've come to deliver. But in that process, it means facing all of those things that become embedded in our in our brains, our neural pathways in our brains, and they become habitual ways of being. Then they become our personalities, and our personalities become who we are and what we do in this world. So the responsibility in living our purpose lies in confronting those parts of ourselves that don't truly resonate to what's in our heart. And it's a lot of work. It's a big responsibility. It's a big job because our brain wants to keep everything the way it's been always. It wants to maintain the status quo because inside that status quo, it's safe. Even if it totally is horrible or if it sucks, it's familiar. And our brains and our whole body chemistry wants us to maintain that familiar way of being. So it's a huge responsibility to actually change and start living our purpose. But when we have the courage, and it takes a lot of courage to step up and finally face the things that we don't like about ourselves, the past that we have dragged into the present, and if we don't do something about it, we'll continue dragging into the future. If we have the courage to step up and face those things and begin to look at the alternatives and become different people, break those habits, become who in our hearts we truly know who we are, then that begins to emanate out into the world. And that's how we start nourishing the world. Just by the simple fact of changing even one little behavior, it shifts the whole consciousness of the planet. It shifts the consciousness of humanity, and things start happening in the world. Things start happening in our lives, and we say, "Wow, I've been praying for this to happen my whole life, and here it is." But why is it there? Why did it happen? Because we had the courage to look within and find the things that we want to change and change those things. And that is, to me, that is nourishing the world. And it starts with nourishing ourselves by changing ourselves and becoming the people that we know we truly want to be.
Aho, sister. 100%. Thank you, Robbie.
You're welcome.
Jayanti, could you speak into that, please? You mentioned, in your presentation, the importance, because I get totally that we need to step into that place, but there's a part of us that happened when we were little that blocked our power.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's right. We start creating right from conception, but more often than not from birth, up to 7 years of age, those major beliefs that run in our subconscious or unconscious that mold the rest of our lives until we can actually bring those beliefs up to the conscious mind, and then that's when we can do something about it and change it. But for a lot of people, they don't know to even go looking there, and they don't even know that these beliefs are actually running them. So, you know, beliefs like I'm not good enough, I'm unworthy, and you know, I'm not capable, etc. You know, I'm unlovable. You know, it's a big one. You know, and so working with those, or working with the understanding that we are far more than what our conditioned mind actually presents to us. Which is what I think Robbie was referring to then, really, is that once we had that understanding that we are far more of that we are soul, we are, you know, this incredible illumined being from the highest aspect of ourselves, and just that small part of the soul that comes into the humanness. And once we can understand that, then the search then is to really connect in. That's our job then, to really connect into that. And it's from that then we're anchoring more of our God self onto this planet, and to then help, you know, uplift and to create and to be of service here. That it is stepping into that deeper part of ourselves, and to know the truth of that's who we truly are. And to work with, you know, the personality, of course. You know, we're here to enjoy this incredible planet that we live on, this beautiful divine feminine being, you know, that offers her body for us to live upon. And she has so much beauty. There is just so much incredible essence here that touches the heart, that, you know, can always just bring us back into that heart space, where in that connection in the heart is who we truly are. And that's the gem. That's where we find that connection and the courage to be more of who we are. And I see that as the soul life. So that's where I'm up to in my life, is I'm well aware of all the lower energies that operate, that have been conditioned, etc. And I've been, you know, discreating or dismantling that for quite some time now. And I'm just at a point where it's to anchor more of the God light in, and to allow my soul to be present here in this form. So at this time I can anchor in as much light, as much of, you know, the divine feminine here on the planet.
And what a powerful ripple effect that we create, every one of us, that steps and into that courageous, onto that courageous path. We need no words. We just we feel, and it's very beautiful. Thank you, Jayanti. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, my passion is to keep working with people, and I'm now having lots of younger ones coming in, which is just so beautiful, because they're so ready, they're so eager now to really embrace that within themselves. And it's such a journey from where I've come from being really in that 3D back in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, wow, to what it is in this time. There's so much presence with these younger people. It really is divine, and I'm just so passionate about working with them. It's beautiful, just to help them with that deeper connection and to really know who they are. So thank you.
Oh, there is no greater gift. No greater gift.
True.
Beautiful, Justine. The word presence is just resonating everywhere through what we're speaking about, and I know that's one of your important pillars. Where are you? How do you reach into women and help them recognize their importance in the nourishment of the world? I know you have your light language, but I sense that there's a lot of fun, the need to have a lot of fun.
I honestly believe that is a really important aspect of any kind of spiritual work or any self-reflection, is just to remember that it's fun, and it can be really fun, and to create lightheartedness around it. And I think when we do that, the conditioning and all those heavier patterns tend to shift a little bit quicker. And yeah, I think another, and we talk about presence, and I feel like a really important aspect of that and working with women is really creating spaces, in every aspect of our lives where we have a really safe space to be fully ourselves. So fully in our light, so we can rock up to our friend or our partner or an online community space and be like, this has happened, this experience or this thing in my life that I've manifested, it can happen. And everyone else can reflect and be joyful in that space, but you can equally rock up and go, like, I'm just having the crappiest day, or I'm in so much self-doubt and so much fear, or I've just completely been the crappiest mum today because this happened. And, really just be, and that, that's a vulnerable place. And I don't think in the past we've really had a lot of safe places to express the highs and equally express the lows. I was actually chatting to a girlfriend the other day and I said, in day-to-day life, we've got this spectrum of conversation where we can play in, and we can't go too dark, but we also can't be too happy and, elated. We've kind of got this safe place to be like, I can be here in day-to-day life, but I can't be outside. And when that became conscious to me, I just thought, stuff that, like, I want to play on the edges. I want to create spaces and I want to be a part of spaces where, like, we go into the depths and the shadow and I think I'm a little bit of a sicko. Like, I kind of like delving deep and feeling, the heaviness sometimes of being human, but I also want to celebrate and be celebrated. I don't think as females, and I think that aspect of the divine feminine has really been suppressed. We've got this narrow playground in which we can operate in, and I think expanding those conversations and expanding those spaces to be in where we can be safe and to be our full selves, because we are the full spectrum of light and shadow. And especially in the spiritual world as well, it can kind of, sometimes we can get carried away with only being light and only talking about light things and only being, that part, showing that part of ourselves. But I think it's equally important to talk about the fear and the doubt and the pain that we need to move through to even share ourselves in a platform like this. Like, I'm sure all of us had nerves and self-doubt and like, why am I on this? All of those things. I just really like being open and honest and vulnerable and real in that way, and having fun at the same time.
Oh, Robbie, you're so gorgeous. Robbie and Jayanti and Justine, I love, I was nervous as heck being asked to step up and host these. You've got no idea, but that is how we grow.
Yeah, it's normal to be really nervous, I think.
I have to shift that and just question, is this nervous energy or am I excited?
Yeah.
And usually I'm excited. If I make that recognition, I'm so excited. I'm sweating. It's, it's just fabulous to step out and play that. It's fun. It's fun. Thank you.
I think as well, it's when we're expanding, we can have that nervous and excitement energy and we feel all of those things, but it's ultimately expansion.
Yes. Thank you. I would love to invite our beautiful grandmother Parisha to join this panel and this conversation, because she brings such an extra light of illumination to us and always has some fabulous questions. Welcome.
You're on mute.
You're on mute. That pesky mute button. Hang on, let's see if I can unmute us to unmute.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Welcome.
Great, thank you. What you say, what we see in others, Michelle, we see in ourselves. And I thank you for that compliment, but to recognize yourself in everything you've shared. You're just a magnificent host, and you do so well when you actually take on a panel. So I appreciate all your participation in our program, really. And what I'd like to say to the ladies, we know on this side of Earth, right, the feminine side of Earth, that actually we are here to make the changes. And the feminine, even in the masculine, is starting to show the more creative, the more nurturing part of their nature. And I always, when I teach, I make sure that I point out to all the women, because we know that women dominate pretty much the audiences when we're out actually talking spirituality, teaching, sharing, or gathering. I always remind my mothers, every man began in their arms. Carry that forth.
We're just losing your audio, unfortunately. So we'll just wait a second to get it to come back on. Just wait. Yeah.
So,
perfect. We've got you back.
Okay.
You're gonna have to start again.
All right. So basically what I'll ask of each of you to actually share with me, you see what you've been a part of. You've seen how very fast, I mean, I only have been working with this like about 5 weeks. I know there were other people working with Dr. Yugandhar before that, okay, that's actually organizing. But this really came together with a massive effort. And it's really come together out of chaos. It was in the beginning, everybody knew it was just chaos, right, Michelle? And then everything started coming together, just as spirit always will, if you just relax, breathe, and let it happen, right? But now you've been here, now you've participated with this, and you've all been major roles. Every one of you, we have tried in so many ways to get more speakers or this or that. And I would keep saying, we're exactly who needs to be here will be here. And that's how you've turned up. And like listening to what each of you shared, where do you see this going for you in your career, in your particular participation in this now? Because hundreds of thousands of people will actually hear your message. And from that, when I get my network involved, millions of people are going to hear you. And that impact, because you know energy is energy and we all are energy, right? You're going to have effect of that. What do you see in your future? Where do you want to take the step that you've just made? This step that says you've reached into a much larger volume of space-time to speak into. To know that you've people, and it is the gift of the virus, mind you. This virtual venture has been actually to try and replace not having everything lost and us actually still continuing to. Where do you want to take this? Tell me, you started now, what you've just begun in actually being a global speaker for spirituality and unity. Where you want it to go? Any of you, somebody can start.
First. Yeah, thank you for that question, and thank you for having me here. I feel like I'm very much at the start of my career. I've been working as a healer and doing a lot of one-on-one work for many years, but since the virus has hit, I've taken things online, and it was really at that time that the virus really came to Australia that I got huge insight and clarity about my purpose and my message and what I want to share with the world, and that I do want to share that globally. And this is absolutely the first time I've ever done anything like this. And it was, it's a lot of inner fear and a lot of inner self-doubt that I've had to move through over the week leading up to it. And just doing it, I feel like I've stepped over a big hurdle just doing this. And I purposely didn't have any specific thing that I wanted to get out of it, this in terms of an outcome, but I've really focused on my inner work through the week and leading up to today to really just be present, that word again, Michelle, just be really present within myself, present with the beautiful women. And I think the energy that we've created together in this session just feels like a beautiful weave of energy and story I think we've co-created. So I love, whoever's meant to be on the same panel, I think always is. And I'm really excited to share my message with the world even wider and just keep taking the opportunities that present themselves to me. But for me, this was a big personal step. And whatever comes of it outwardly will come. But yeah, I'm happy to be here and to go on over those hurdles. So that's my view at the moment.
Your smile and your joyful behavior, the twinkle lights behind you, you bring that. Very happy to hear that. All right. Now, anybody else?
Yes, I will follow on from Justine there. I originally, I have done a lot of speaking at festivals, expos, spiritual expos in the past, but nothing too big, you know, sort of the local ones where, you know, I'm still getting packed rooms with some of what I've been presenting. But I've been very quiet for a while. And so when I was invited to be a speaker, which thank you very much, was a beautiful joy for me, because my soul has been coming in, the guidance has been coming in that there is a lot more for me to be doing at this time. There's a lot more that I have to step out of my comfort zone to really reach out and do, and that has been one of the things that they have been preparing me for, is to be out on a bigger stage and to find my voice, to really find that voice and share, you know, the passion that I hold in myself, and that I get so much pain in my body sometimes because I'm holding too much of this in. And I need to really release it out, to bring it out and to share it with other people. So I keep visualizing that, you know, going, once we're able to travel and to be more out, you know, mobile out in the world. I was seeing going and doing talks in different places, and also doing online work, a lot more online work. So, you know, it's really shifting me out of that comfort zone to step into that. I'm great in person, in groups, in person, but yeah, that nervousness can come in because it's stepping out, and it brings up lots of old memories from past lives and that. So yeah, I've worked through most of that, but now it's in this personality to step out. And there's such a bigger message there, you know, that my team who work with me, my soul's guidance, has got so much they want to share out there, and it's about, you know, getting the personality along and in line to actually do that. So I'm open for what Spirit has
It's wonderful.
in alignment.
That's really wonderful.
So thank you. Yes. Thank you for asking that question. It's a great question. Wonderful
Yes,
question.
I agree. Fantastic question. And one of the things that I found really amazing when Justine and Jayanti were speaking is that all three of us had kind of a common thread in the things we're talking about. Even when Michelle has been speaking up, it's like, okay, there is some common ground here. And if the 3 or 4 of us are talking about these things, and we're all talking about similar things, surely the whole world is ready to talk about these things and hear about these things. And when the opportunity came up for me to be a speaker in this amazing program, I thought, what am I going to talk about? Because there are a lot of things that I envisioned for my life that I'm on my way there. Some things have happened, but not everything in this big, massive picture I have for my life. Not all of those things are happening. I thought, how can I be qualified to talk about these things when I haven't accomplished this big, huge vision yet? But then I realized there are things that I've already accomplished that I can talk about. So I sat down to write my script out for this presentation. And then I realized I don't need to write a script out for these things because they really happened and I've experienced them and I've got the wisdom of those. So I just opened my mouth and started talking and realized, especially with all of the ladies on these presentations today, what I have to share is important, and what you have to share is important. And together we are making this really amazing energy that's emanating out across the world. And I just want to keep doing more of it.
All right, very good. And I'd like to say to you, Janity, please pronounce your name. Janity?
Jayanti? Jayanti, yeah.
You have lots of people working with you, don't you? The background behind you is very active. I had to actually watch when you were talking because I could see movement, and I would realize you have the statues there. And I'm sure the statue's not moving, but there was movement. So you do have people agreeing that it's time for you to come out and actually open that door to the world and get in it. So I'm very happy you're aware of that. And
Thank you,
Robbie, with all the time we spent together, I'm very happy to see that you're stepping into looking at where your future is also in public speaking. Every one of us have a code that we resonate to, and every one of us have a purpose of being here. Our individuality is definitely something that's in our DNA. We cannot put, when we talk about oneness, we cannot forget in the oneness that we're like a mosaic tile, that there are all these special little unique pieces that make the whole so beautiful. And each one of us, and there's so much contrast in all the various things that we've seen. I don't know if you've been watching the other speakers, and that there's such contrast in what the subjects are and what everybody's sharing. But then when you start summing it up today, like I'm looking at the energy, and it's like, you could not, if you took one thing out, it would have been drastically missed. So it's like, I really feel that, and I've told Uganda, I feel that all of you have responded to a much greater message and a presence that maybe you don't give as much credence to as you should, because you're here. And however the number of us is, however we may not have met our 200 goal, you have more had impact of thousands upon thousands of vibrations. And so do not let it stop here. We've had a great beginning. Dr. Yugandhar has put his whole heart and his whole being in this as he does everything. And for us to actually take this now and run with it is exactly a dream that we all have a part in, that we all be there when the time comes. When we hear spirit move us, we have to be able to speak it. We're actually looking, and I want to help finance that, actually having a satellite for world unity and actually having a place for us to come in and constantly broadcasting. Can you imagine, Michelle, if every day of a person's life they could hear any one of these people speak, even for that 5-15 minutes? Can you imagine the impact it would have on a person's daily life? People that are grieving, people who are trying to relocate, people who are trying to establish another particular life, another career. Look at what the world's going through. Yet every day we're broadcasting and we're doing 24/7. And what does it matter what time, what space, and what country? They're hearing the beautiful words that you have to say. And I hope all of you will stay with us and actually be a part of that. And Michelle, I think we could automatically say you're going to be hosting a lot of that, right? So I'm very happy that you've all come to join us. Yeah, and that you will all keep doing your work. And I am very, very grateful that you're in my world, in my time. And I love you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Grandmother. I would love for all of the people that are searching for somewhere to belong, somewhere to uplift them, somewhere to come together, to be able to tap into what you're suggesting. That would be absolutely phenomenal. And it will be.
Yes.
It will be.
It will be. We will make this happen. And yes. And I know it's Dr. Yugandhar's dream as well. And I know it's one of the things he's trying to happen. And he's just gone so powerfully straight for what he do with this. Did not the virus stop to wonderful land in your country. But right now, where are we? We're all somewhere in the background of Australia. So he's made the magic happen. And like I said, us getting a satellite and actually getting our own station and our own broadcast, there's going to be no way that anybody could escape the transformation that is inevitably coming about, thanks to all of you. And thanks to you, Dr. Yugandhar.
Yes,
Thank you very much, Grandmother.
Thank you, Dr. Yugandhar.
Thank you,
Dr. Yugandhar.
Wonderful job.
Jayanti, Michelle, Robin, Gunter, Justin Sharkey. Herewith, I have got some announcement to make. Shall I?
Yes.
Please do.
Yeah.
Please do. I'm waiting.
Yeah. So, as we have been discussing for the past few days on our speakers group of Australia, in this session, spirituality and women empowerment, I'm proposing to have the world's very first women parliament on spirituality. So, I'm proposing for the year 2022, so that we can have ample time, and how spirituality and woman empowerment can go together. This is the time when feminine consciousness need to be awakened in a very big way. All the male gender, all the men in the world need to awaken their own feminine consciousness to make themselves wholesome. Because feminine consciousness is quite resonant with the frequency of Mother Earth. Mother, we don't call Father Earth, right? Mother Earth. In the very land where we are living, motherly, it is caring. The Mother Earth is very much caring. So, I would like to propose the dates for the Women Parliament on Spirituality. So, we all will take lead from where we are, from our places of stay, whichever country it is. I'm going to announce in all our world parliaments in Europe, North America, South America, Africa, Asia, everywhere. And I will gather all the energy from there. You also join all the energy from your places, Australia, New Zealand, and all islands. So I'm proposing the day on the International Women's Day, 8th of March. So 8th of March is going to be Tuesday in 2022.
Wonderful.
So we can have Sunday, 6th, 7th, and 8th March, 3 days. 6th, 7th, 8th March 2022, the world's very first women parliament on spirituality. How do you feel? Let me listen from you. Anyone?
Fantastic.
I'd like to invite the other women that are on the panel with cameras off to please turn your cameras on and share the excitement with us.
Yeah. Anyone would like to give some inputs about how we can do, how we can take lead?
Yes,
Nancy,
that's
welcome.
wonderful.
How exciting.
So for 3 days, we will form committees for all continents, around 10 people from each continent to be a part of this committee, so that we will collect all the jewels of women across the world, all the gems in the form of woman's body. We will collect all these diamonds, pearls of wisdom, and present all these things in the Women's World Parliament on Spirituality. You have anything to say, Geraldine, about this?
I think it's powerful and that it's going to go over big time. It is a dream I have, and it's a dream I'm sure every one of these women share. We
Beautiful.
Want to have the ability to nurture. And I want to share something with you, okay? Right now, I'm just checking as I was looking because I had a real urgent message here. And a friend of mine who actually monitors the satellites, okay, is monitoring the global coherence monitoring system, and says that over the 3 days that we've been telecasting, the Earth's magnetic field has been lifting. So we've actually had global impact, Dr. Yugandhar. We have actually affected the aura of our planet. So you can't deny that there's something big happening and that we're all involved in it. And a woman's parliament for the feminine, I would love that. I would love that. And one for the youth. We talked, remember, we also said we'd like to do one for the youth. So let's make some dates for that.
Yes. So we have announced the dates for Youth Parliament on Spirituality for 12th, 13th, 14th of August 2022. The Youth Parliament on Spirituality, the world's very first. Let all the people between the age 16 to 40, 75% of the participation will be from this age group, 16 to 40 years, and 25% will be from above 40. This will be the equation. Grandmother, I'm treating you as a young angel. I don't treat you as octogenarian.
No, what was the month? What is the month for the youth? I got the 12th, 13th, and 14th. What was the month?
August.
August. Okay.
Yeah, because 12th August is being celebrated as International Youth Day.
All right. You know that we have to start planning and organizing now.
Yes, yes. We are going
Okay.
to keep all this information by December in the website, and we'll start inviting the speakers. We'll start scheduling. We have a lot of time, and let this event be a physical event instead of online one, because Corona by that time will be over. What do you say?
Okay. Fantastic.
Yeah.
So, ladies, it's just begun. Get your suitcases ready, your computers ready, and know you've just opened up the world.
Yeah.
If
Unless
I
we carry the
if I was right there, Dr. Yugandhar, I would kiss your beloved hand. I am so grateful that you managed to bring the energy together and let this happen. I was planning it. How the story goes, ladies, is that I was actually talking to my organization and saying, we have a gathering that we call Wind, Fire, and Earth. And I said, we really need to start working with that and bringing in unity. And it wasn't even like 7 days later, I get this contact from Dr. Yugandhar, and he says, would you assist and would you come on with this? And it's like, you know, why reinvent the wheel, right? Why wouldn't we work together? So it's been really, really powerful. And now to see the plans and how we're including all of this other, we can do this. We have to do this. This is what we're all about. And we know that. So we got to get that broadcast station up. We really got to get out there broadcasting. We need a satellite. So we'll start getting the funding and everything ready for that.
Yeah, some of our speakers from Africa who are living in the US, one speaker, he owns a TV channel, and he has announced that this TV channel from today will be called as the World United Channel. He has come forward generously and retitling this channel as the World United Channel. We can use this TV channel, which comes on Amazon Fire Stick, as the mouthpiece of the World United. So let us all be the founding members of the World United wherever you are. And tomorrow, the day 5, the last day of the event, in the valediction ceremony, I request all the wonderful ladies here, please join on the Zoom link. I will send the Zoom link, and we all will make some announcements during the valediction ceremony, and we will sum up the entire event of Australia World Parliament of Spirituality. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much.
And when you get finished here, please, Dr. Yugandhar, tell all of my beloveds there in India, I will come soon to see Mother India again, and I want to bring some young people, and I want you to find some young people that we can bring back to the States and actually show them my beautiful homelands in Arizona.
I will personally guide them. I will personally take them to places. I will personally guide them. Thank you, grandmother. Thanks a lot. It's a great honor.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Yugandhar. That is indeed exciting news for our world, for our youth, and for our empowerment as magnificent beings.
Yeah.
I would love to. I've just had my babies join the show, my dog. So if you hear barking and carrying on, I apologise. Justine, Jayanti, and Robbie. You ladies together have been perfection in motion today, sharing this beautiful feminine gift of opening and expanding the blessing of our Divine Mother through your hearts and into the hearts of everyone that we have reached today. And I thank you from the bottom of the heart of World Parliament Spirituality for your gift today.
And thank you very much, Michelle, for your wonderful time, for your wonderful moderation. Thank you, Mansi, also, for leading this session very well. And thank you all the wonderful presenters, Robbie, Justin, Jayanti Woods, and my dear grandmother as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Very much so, grandmother. I always feel so incredibly honoured when you jump on to help us complete with your energy everything that's been brought together by Dr. Yugandhar and that beautiful heart of his. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, Michelle, for a beautiful moderating.
Michelle is
really a blessing for us all.
My pleasure.
Held the space very beautifully. Thank you.
Yeah, Michelle, you are going to moderate for Europe chapter as well.
Is that right? Surprise,
We
surprise.
need you. The world needs you. Europe needs you.
The world needs all of us.
Yeah.
There's no doubt of that.
Yes.
So if I could ask,
Europe chapter is going to begin on 23 to 27 this month, and
Wow.
we will journey together. Please don't be passive. Please participate actively. Let us take some more announcements. So in the very first event, Australia chapter, we made two important announcements, very, very important announcements. Youth and women are very, very important. And the future of the evolution of consciousness is dependent upon these two groups, youth and women. This is what I personally feel. So very interestingly, we made announcements with the dates and years and all. Once the dates are announced, 50% job is over. This is my personal feeling. Because the cosmos does the rest. So 50% job, we all together have done it. So we announced the dates and we will leave it to cosmos. It will be taken care of. So
Yes.
wonderful ladies, my dear angels, thank you very much once again.
thank you. If I could ask the team to please bring the certificates up for the ladies.
Can I say something, Michelle, with everyone's permission? Dr. Yugandhar, can I say something?
Please.
This has been so beautiful. And, throughout the session, throughout this whole women and spirituality session, this whole space felt like a womb to me. And it just, I just felt I was in the womb. And then when Dr. Yugandhar shared that we are going to have the Women's World Parliament of Spirituality, I said, yes, if it's a womb, there has to be a creation. And Dr. Yugandhar created it. I was like, wow, that is what the divine masculine does with the womb. There is a new birth. And I'm just like ecstatic that I get to be a part of the moment where this got created. So thank you so much.
Perfect.
And go down to every single one of you. And
Yes.
Grandma Parisha, the way you have come in and it seems you're a gatherer of star souls. And the moment you came in, it felt like we were all in the womb and we all just gathered and just came together as a constellation of joy and hope and love. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Nancy, you are just a beautiful, beautiful light, darling, a beautiful light. Thank you for jumping in and sharing that. I agree. We have been rebirthed today to spread into huge expanses.
Yes.
And please join me and us in a final prayer in gratitude for this session, this beautiful celebration of unity consciousness. The completion of this day. Thank you, Creator, and all that is, for reminding us unity consciousness lives in our hearts. It is who we are. And that the World Parliament of Spirituality event creates and continues to create a tsunami ripple of unconditional love, opening the heart of humanity as the magnificent radiant lights we already are. Divine Mother, assist all in need of your love. Allow us to shine in the hearts and lives of those in need. May love, light and peace and joy fill your lives now and forever. And so it is.
So it is.
Namaste.
So it is.
Deep blessings to all. Thank you, Jayanti.
Thank you. That's lovely. It's beautiful. This beautiful cocoon that's been created, this incredible energy. Thank you.
We have a certificate also for Justine and for Robbie. And please accept our love into your hearts and our gratitude.
All good things. All beautiful good things.
Thank you, Justine.
It's an honour to be here in this moment, part of this vision.
You just gave me goosebumps, girl. It's real. Robbie, we honour you. Thank you. In love and light, we'll see you tomorrow at the close of the ceremony. Please join us on, it'll be the track 1 link that will come into the WhatsApp group. If you need help finding that, you've got my number, ladies. Just message me. Thank you to all that joined us in spirit, in soul, in person. We are a one, and every one of us is creating a beautiful movement forward. Au revoir, goodbye, bonne nuit. See you tomorrow.
Namaste.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Yugandhar.